Hi, I'm Nick McLean with Four Pillars Investors. I have almost 20 years of experience in private equity, mergers and acquisitions, investment banking, you name it. I've created a course, a small segment of which follows, and it really is just a very small segment. Now that you've created and submitted your offer, now the waiting happens. Ideally you'll submit it. The sell-side advisor will let you know that they received it and give you some time frame. If you haven't heard for a few days, then I think it's reasonable to follow up. Most likely there will be some level of negotiation on the offer that you submit. Now, if you meet the purchase price, then the probably won't be much negotiation on that particular piece. If there was no asking price or you didn't meet it, then there probably will be. If they counter, what I would encourage you not to do is not to meet in the middle. There's a book out there called Never Split the Difference. It's by an FBI hostage negotiator, and he shares some tips on negotiating, and one of which is whenever you're doing a financial negotiation, don't split in the middle. I would encourage you to have rationale for why your purchase price is what it is. Where my mindset was, if they're not willing to negotiate on anything, what are they going to be like as a partner? Is this how they always operate? Zero negotiation? It's our way or the highway? For that reason, if there is a request to change the structure in some way, I would try to throw the seller a bone to some degree, just to show that, well, yes, I really can't change this offer, but also I'm not the type that is so inflexible, unwilling to accept any other person's viewpoint that I can't change at all. So, it's a little bit nuanced there. I do want you to hold firm, but also not so firm that they get the feeling that you won't compromise at all. Depending on the sophistication of the broker, definitely could be some pushback on working capital. If your offer included working capital as part of the purchase price, particularly AR and inventory, there could be a lot of give and take there. I don't have a prescribed set of options or action plan here whenever you have to discuss working capital. Really what it comes down to is if working capital is going to be excluded, then in your analysis, that needs to be added to the purchase price to determine if you still think it's a fair price. Additionally, any working capital that you have to purchase absolutely needs to be added to the SBA loan. The worst situation, well, maybe not the worst, but a very, very bad situation you can get in is shortly after close, you don't have the working capital needed in order to operate the business. If you acquire a suitable level of working capital as part of the purchase price, you're gonna be protected. If I do that, then I need to feel very comfortable about the diligence that I've done. And equally important, we'll make sure that in the note agreements, there is the explicit allowance or permission for the buyer to use the note as a means to indemnify against reps and warranties. So that's why the escrow is there in the first place. I wouldn't be too concerned about that because during this time, you're gonna be further developing that relationship. It's kind of like breaking up with a boyfriend or girlfriend. You almost feel like you should stay with that person even though it's not a good fit because of the uncertainty around finding somebody new or whatever. And I don't wanna make it sound like I'm encouraging you to take advantage of the seller. That's not it at all. It's just similar to the feelings you will have about a deal and how you're already into diligence. You really want this to get this one closed. If you don't get it closed, then it's back to the drawing board. The seller is going to have similar feelings. So for that reason, I typically am pretty flexible on exclusivity in my own head. However, whenever I'm having negotiations with the sell-side advisor, I definitely try and get something out of it if I am willing to negotiate on the term of exclusivity. Now, I'm not saying that this course is going to be the end-all be-all for everyone. However, at the very least, if you do want to buy a business, I think you owe it to yourself to at least check it out, learn a little bit more about it, and see if this might be the right next step for you, for your career, and for your family. Thanks for watching.